Hi there. Well, as you can see from the title of this video, this 1.5cc DC Sabre let go yesterday. Something's broken, something catastrophic. I've got about 180 degrees movement, just free movement, and then it's seized either way. And I suspect the big end, the crank pin, has let go and the conrod's broken, but we'll strip it down in a minute and have a look. Now, yesterday was a beautiful day, one of the nicest flying days we've had. It was crisp, it was blue, clear sky, there wasn't a breeze at all, very, very slight breeze at times. And yet it was like -2, 3, 4, somewhere around there, and the ice was forming on the wings, but the Tomboy was flying beautifully. Up until what happened to be the last flight where the engine gave way. Now, just before that flight, the engine wasn't running quite right, and I launched it off into the air and it was just lacking power. It just didn't want to seem to pick up. Well, I'm dead interested to see what's gone on this, so I'm going to get it out of the plane, get it stripped, and we'll have a look at what's happened inside. Right, well, our curiosity has been satisfied. You can see, hopefully, that the conrod there has snapped at the top, the little end where the gudgeon pin goes through. So that is fairly catastrophic for this engine, I think, unless I can get a new conrod, or yeah, well, a new conrod, I guess. There are little bits of metal around here, but I don't think the piston is damaged. There's a slight bend to the conrod. I suspect when it let go it went round and then struck up at the top and got bent somehow. So that's interesting to see. Well, as you can see, that engine looks pretty terminal, and it may never run again unless I can get a new conrod. And the gudgeon pin seems pretty solid in that piston, so I'm going to need to look at how I can get that out. Maybe a bit of heat and a bit of gentle persuasion. Now, this engine was given to me to put in this Tomboy by a really good friend at the airfield, and luckily enough, or funnily enough, he was with me when I was flying it yesterday and it let go. And I said to him I thought it was the conrod, and he agreed, and he said, if it is, I'll make you a new one if I can. He's a machinist. I know he's played about with making engine parts before. So what a kind offer. But in the meantime, I need to get something in this, because I really want to get this Tomboy back in the air, because I really love flying it and I had such a good time with it yesterday. Now, I've got a couple of options. I've got a 1.5cc ME Snipe. Now this, it's new in the box, got the instructions and the box here, and it's never been run. And it's a lovely engine, but because it's never been run, I'm a bit hesitant to spend the time at the moment running it in and getting it right. So what I think I might do is, I've got a 1.5cc PAW, which I've run. I know it's been run before, it's in great condition, and I think it would go really nice in this Tomboy. Now, I haven't tried it between the lugs. It's a little bit tight, although actually it does push fit, so that might be a really, really good option, and it'll have oodles of power, a lot more than the DC Sabre had, so that'll be interesting. I might even need to dial back the RPM so it doesn't actually pull the wings off it. But anyway, I think what I'm going to do, I think I will go for the PAW, the PAW, rather than this lovely old Snipe, just because it's ready to run, it's running. Well, looking at the video earlier, it's fair to say that it wasn't flying right. The engine wasn't pulling like it had done for the previous flights that day, where it had flown beautifully. But I don't understand why it would start to go slowly. You would think a conrod going like that would be fairly quick and fairly catastrophic and wouldn't just cause the engine to run bad for a couple of minutes before. But hey, maybe it would, I don't know. But we've seen the results. So now I think it's really going to be exciting to get the PAW into the Tomboy and see how it flies.
So how to use it on the other side?
I'm coming into land. Ooh. There we go. A lovely flight. Nice to have that extra power. And well, it would be nice if the landing was a bit better, but no damage anyway. Nice and soft. Well, wow! I am so impressed and pleased with how that PAW pulled that Tomboy Senior, almost took it out of my hand, and it climbed and flew absolutely lovely. I was a little bit concerned on the first flight because I wasn't sure whether it was going to be slightly too powerful, but I think that is absolutely perfect. It climbed lovely. I lost count of how many flights I had in it. It must have been around about 10, but it was really enjoyable. I just wanted to keep flying it again and again. And on the plus side, I'm using less fuel now, because with the previous two engines, the Sabre and the Mills, I was flying it for about 4 minutes to get that kind of height so I'd have a decent glide down. But now in a minute and a half it's getting to the same height. It's really climbing lovely. It's interesting, I put a tacho on it and I was getting just over 10,000 RPM. I think it's 10,300 RPM. Whereas with the same prop on the Sabre and the Mills, I was struggling to get over about 7,000. So that's a big difference. And that engine was easy starting and it ran lovely. So I am so pleased with the change. So if you're building yourself a Tomboy, go for the 1.49 PAW, the 1.5cc PAW, because it's a perfect match. Anyway, I hope you found this useful and interesting, and thanks very much for watching. I can't wait to get back to the airfield now and fly this again.